guys, welcome back to the conversation. Today I'm going to be talking about Gina Rodriguez and kind of giving my input on this whole N-word gate situation, shall we say. A bit of backstory. Gina Rodriguez did an Instagram live video in which she was singing along, getting her hair and makeup done, and singing along to some music, the Fugees, I believe. And in the lyrics of what she was singing, she managed to drop the N-bomb. A lot of people were enraged, a lot of people jumped on the cancel culture bandwagon and was like, she's done for, she's out of here. And a lot of people were just like, well, she's Latina and she grew up in the hood, so she's allowed to say it. And for me, I guess I'm just tired with this whole conversation at this point. I am a black person who doesn't actually like using the N-word. I'm a black person that doesn't like to be referred to as the N-word. It's a word that I quite frankly would prefer if it didn't exist. Unfortunately, it does exist. But what I've never been able to understand is in the extensive list of racial slurs, why is it that all sides want the right to be able to use this word? I have never understood it. I've never understood what the hype is about it. I don't get it. Growing up, it wasn't a word that I ever really heard outside of school. And I remember hearing it in school and thinking, oh, so it's a word. And I heard it in a song. I think I heard it in a song. Someone was playing a song in school and I heard it and I was like, well, if I'm singing the song and it comes out in the song, that's the thing in it. But then I would hear other people using it in terms of referring to themselves. So I think I was around 13 or so, and I heard people using it, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So it must be a word that I can use. And I remember calling everyone it. I remember black, white, Asian, whatever. I was like, yeah, what's up, Mayen? And as I got older, I became more aware of what it meant. I actually learned what it meant when I read Mildred D. Taylor's Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, the entire series. If you haven't read that book, what are you waiting for? It kind of put into perspective for me what it meant. And the moment I learned it, I was just like, I just prefer if I didn't have to use it. That being said, yes, it does feature in a few songs. And so there are songs that people will sing and stuff like that. And I endeavor and I strive to censor myself when that does happen and to not say that word, because I find it just such a cringe word. It's such an uncomfortable word. But yeah, I can understand getting caught up in a song and dropping it by accident. My thing with the whole Gina Rodriguez thing is I found her apologies to be quite lackluster. I didn't think they were, and I don't know her personally, so for all I know, they could have been full on genuine and sincere apologies, but I just felt like they weren't, more so because it started off as an apology and then kind of veered off into an explanation of why it was okay for her to say it, because it was in the song and she was just singing the song, and it's a song that she's loved her whole life and she's constantly sang this song before, and it was a mistake on her part. Totally understand that, but all I hear are excuses, if that makes sense. And I'm not trying to bash her, I'm not trying to be like, cancel culture, we must get rid of her. No. I just feel like the apology she issued was more so as a I heard that you might be offended, so here, take an apology, but I don't think I did anything wrong. And I don't think she does think, I feel like, in my own personal opinion, I don't think she does feel like she's done anything wrong, due to the fact that she has said that she grew up in an area where that was normal, that was the kind of music that she listened to. So she has surrounded herself with a particular sort of people who have probably heard her sing that song before, and no one's ever said anything to her. No one's ever called her out on it and been like, hey man, maybe bleep yourself out at that part, maybe don't say that part. That's understandable. If no one's ever censored her, she's never felt the need to be censored, which would explain why she felt so comfortable to film herself singing along to it, and it didn't occur to her that, hey, maybe she shouldn't say that. For me, I'm not shocked. Again, I saw the Savoy show skit, so I'm not shocked that like she dropped the N-bomb. Just for me, I personally would just like for the word to just not exist. I've never understood what the pull on the word is, why everyone fights for the right to say it, why people get so up in arms about being able to say the word. I'm black and I don't want to say it. I can do without it. I could absolutely do without it. It's a slur. There's nothing anyone can say to convince me that it's not. I've seen like adults refer to children as, yo, what's up, my little N? And I'm like, ew? No. Like, it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. I don't understand how it can be taken back and mean something positive. I just don't see it. I honestly don't see it. I don't think that's a thing. I do understand that there are a lot of Latinas who do believe that they have a right to use that word. Evelyn Lozada, as I mentioned earlier in the video, she does feel like she has a right to use it because she has just recently found out that she is 25% African, as she has said. But like, for me personally, I don't care if you're African, British, Black, American, whatever. I just feel like the word needs to be thrown away. I just don't see the pull. I don't see the desire of it. I don't see it as a term of endearment. I don't see it as a, like, oh, it's a rite of passage kind of thing. Nothing will negate the true meaning of the word. Nothing will negate it. Just because you say it to your friends and it feels like a term of endearment, if it feels like a term of endearment when you say it to your friends, why is it like, I don't know. I don't know how to word it. It's a word that just annoys me. It's a word that just annoys me. There is never going to be a time when I'm going to hear it and I'm going to be like, that's a great word. Strong word. Now, I know that there are a lot of people who have kind of tried to link it back to, I believe it's an Ethiopian word, and I'm probably wrong on the pronunciation. I believe it's the word Megum, and apparently there are a lot of people who do believe that the N-word did derive from that. It didn't. It derived from Spaniards, and in terms of color and all of that sort of stuff. There are so many derivatives or places that it derived from that just I'm not positive. And for me, that's enough for me to say that I just don't want the word. I just don't like it. I don't want it, don't want to hear it. I would prefer if no one said it, but I understand that it is in music. It's everywhere we look. People are throwing it out there, and I just don't understand why. I really don't understand why. Like, you never hear people fighting to call like Asian people biracial slurs, or fighting to call what do you call it, for Latinos or like Irish immigrants or Italians by their racial slurs. You never hear that happen. But for some reason, this word has everyone up in arms because everyone wants the opportunity to say it. Like, what makes this word so platinum? That's my question. What makes this word so desirable that everyone wants the opportunity to say it? I will never understand that. Another few words that I will never understand, when you have people who are like, I'm a head B in charge. I feel like you know what the word is. If you don't know what the word is, like, take a lucky guess and leave it downstairs. Let's see what you think. But like, that word, for me, I just don't get it. I see women walking around, like strong women walking around and referring to themselves as, I'm a boss B, I'm a head B, and I'm like, what? Like, what? I don't understand what it's come to. I really don't understand what it's come to, that for some reason we want to take all of these negative slurs and label them on ourselves so that it's okay for other people to call us by those slurs, because we are trying to say that, oh, I'm okay with it now because I use a slur on myself. No, like, I personally just feel like that's just not the way forward. I just don't think it's a thing. I think the N-word needs to be made obsolete, and the only way it can be made obsolete is if people stop using it. It's everywhere we look. It is everywhere we look. And it's not to say that I think everything in the world needs to be censored, and oh, we shouldn't be able to swear, we shouldn't be able to say this, we shouldn't be able to that. Freedom of speech, I truly believe in freedom of speech, but freedom of speech only works effectively when freedom of speech is exercised with common sense. It doesn't work without common sense, and I just don't see the desire of it. I've never had the desire for it, and I just prefer if no one else used it. Like, it'd be really cool to listen to music and to not have it just like N-word, 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 N-word. Like, it'd be great if that was the case. But music nowadays, that's what it's all about. A lot of rap nowadays, that's what it's all about. You hear it constantly. Now, I understand it back in the day, because back in the day, in the times of like Terror Squad and DMX and Papoose and all them lot, and I think I just mentioned people from the exact same place, but like during the Snoop Dogg Tupac Biggie days, it wasn't like a weird thing to hear that terminology. During the like Straight Out of Compton days, it wasn't weird to hear that terminology, because in a way they kind of were still living that lifestyle, so it made sense. But we are so far, we are trying, I don't want to say we have evolved, because there are still changes we are waiting for and working on, but we are trying to evolve, and there are so many things that have been left in the past, and I just don't understand why that can't be left in the past too. For me, I would prefer if we threw it back there with saggy pants. I can't. If we just took it with, what do they call them, drop downs? If we took them with drop downs, just threw them out in the past and left them in the past, I'd be quite okay with it. I know that there are a lot of races and cultures who tend to be like, oh, I have a right to say it because of the area I grew up in. I don't think the area you grew up in or the area a person grows up in dictates what they are allowed to say and what they are allowed not to say, because then we shouldn't be mad at white Texans, I guess, for saying the N-word because they grew up south, right? Like, that's a normal thing for them, but like, that's just it. By having the word around, it leaves the conversation open, it leaves the argument open, it leaves it open for people to be like, I want a right to say it. You don't have a right to tell me what I can and cannot say. And for that alone, for me, I'm like, I'm sold. Cut the word. Get rid of it. Like, I don't get why people want to bring it in. I don't know if I mentioned the Negan word, but people try and say it's come from there. But for me, I'm like, it doesn't. They're two different words. One's an Ethiopian word that I believe means high title or something along those lines, or like royalty. But the other one is just straight slur. It's just straight slur. You have people who will refer to themselves as the N-word and then turn around and be like, but we were all born kings and queens of Africa. I don't know what kind of history you guys learned, and I don't know what school taught you guys about the monarchy or monarchies in general, but I can assure you that is not how monarchies work. You cannot have an entire country of kings and queens, because who will serve the kings and queens? It doesn't make any sense. It's not a bad thing if you worked for the royal family in Africa or the motherland. It's not a bad thing if you weren't a king or a lord or whatever. Like, it was never, titles weren't really that important. Kings and queens were put in place in terms of leadership to guide the people, not to lord their might over people. So when I hear people who are like, oh, in the motherland we were kings, we were great, we were this, it's like, were we all? Were we all? And if you're referring to yourself as kings and queens, why then would you add on the title that was given to slaves and so proudly take it to yourself? Like, I was a king and queen in the motherland. Call me the queen N. Call me the king N. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, it seems like such a clash. Like, such a clash. I just don't get it. It could just be me. I could be the only person that has that opinion. But I personally don't appreciate it. I just feel like there are certain words that we should just let go. We shouldn't be trying to commandeer them. We shouldn't be trying to take them back. You can't take back something if its original and present meaning is the exact same thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. And you can try and be like, oh, the N-word doesn't mean like slavery now. Now the N-word just means my black friend. No, it really doesn't. There's nothing you can say. It's like saying the B word doesn't mean a female dog, fox, otter, or wolf. It still does. It still does. So when you call yourself a boss bee, or you allow men to call you a boss bee, like, what does that tell you? I grew up believing in the power of words and how the effects of the words that you surround yourself with growing up and in your day-to-day life can affect and shape you. You grow up and you tell yourself you're a boss bee, you're a head bee, you allow men to call you a bee because you're like, it's okay, it's a term of endearment. When he calls me his bee, it's like because he loves me. Your kids are seeing this. You're raising daughters, little girls who are rising up and seeing this, hearing men call you this title. What are you teaching them? What are you teaching them? I just feel like there are so many other pleasant titles that you can call yourselves rather than use these slurs. No one else wants to be referred to by slurs. Why are these key slurs a thing? Why? I never understood it. I've never understood it. Like, I can understand when they're like, well, if I'm going to be accused of being a bee, then I'm going to be a bee. That's a different thing. Like, you're saying, you're going to accuse me of being one, so I'm going to act like one. That's very different from actually titling yourself, in my opinion, and saying, you can call me this, you can call me that. Like, no. Like, if someone's going to refer to you as a bee, you don't have to act like a bee if you don't want to. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. You can react in a different manner. I for one, and it may not make sense to a lot of people, like, I may be rambling and waffling on and stuff, but like, for me, I just feel like this whole situation is just ridiculous. I didn't appreciate the fact that she felt the need to go ahead and do what she did, but I'm not shocked by it. Gina Rodriguez has been doing the most. She's been, like, I'm not shocked. You could literally tell me tomorrow that Gina Rodriguez, like, chased the black woman down the street and yelled, all women matter, and I would literally be like, okay. Because it's just, I'm now used to hearing that from her. I'm used to seeing it from her. Like, it's the narrative I have of her now, and I honestly don't know her. Again, like, she could be a truly nice and genuine individual, but from what the media has shown us of her, it's not really the best image. So it is what it is. I am fully aware that the media can portray you to be anything and anyone. Like, that's just how it is. But this issue and this conversation and this whole cancel culture situation right now with the Gina Rodriguez situation would not be a situation if we could just put a cancel on the N-word. So I guess my question to you guys today is, what is the pull in using the N-word? Why is it such a desired word? What is it about the N-word that makes people want to use it so much? What is it about the N-word that everyone wants to use it? Everyone wants the right to use it. Why does no one want to get rid of this specific racial slur? That's the conversation for today, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I really do appreciate the support, as I always say at the end of my videos. I'm really having so much fun making these videos for you. They may not be coming at the speed everyone likes, but they're coming. And I appreciate everyone who sticks around to watch them and to contribute, or to message me and be like, hey man, I watched your video, I really liked it. I really do appreciate it. Continue to show me support. Like, comment, subscribe, share, dislike if you need to. I'm good with it all. But yeah, just continue to support me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you all. I still, again, and I feel like I'm going to keep saying this until one day I do figure out what my outro is. I haven't really figured out an outro, or like a sign off, like a cool, like, ba-dum-tus kind of thing to say goodbye. I don't have one yet. Working on it. But for now, be safe and be you. That's all I have to say. Bye, guys.